All right, good morning. All right, so we're holding today's Daf is Menachos. We're going to start from, we already did the bottom of Samazan, just to review real quickly. It says in the Mishnah that after the Omer you would come into a store and you would find the store fully stocked. The Mishnah says, Shaloi B'rotzim Chachamim, according to Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yehuda says it was B'rotzim Chachamim. Meaning, according to Rabbi Yehuda, we're not worried if they stock the store. We're not worried that they're going to grab food and eat from the Chodosh before the Omer was given. As the Gemara, in our Mishnah it says that by the Omer we're not worried. They could touch the flour, put it on the shelves, even though they didn't bring the Omer, and we're not worried that somebody's going to eat from it. Rabbi Yehuda says, you do your bdika, but you have to stop at a certain point. Chatzois erev yontev, you have to stop. Why? Because after that point, we're worried you might find chametz and you might eat it. So over there, Rabbi Yehuda is choishish that he might eat it. And when it comes to Omer, we're not choishish he's going to eat it. You could check throughout yontev. And Chachamim say, we're not choishish. Yet in our Mishnah, Chachamim say, we are choishish. So now we're holding it. Says Rabbo that Chodosh we're not worried. Why? Because there's a special halacha that tells us that before you bring the Omer, you can't cut it with a tool. You have to cut the wheat with your hand. So since you're cutting the wheat with your hand, so that's enough of a shmira that he shouldn't be over and eat it. This is where we're holding. Okay, so I understand when you do ktsira, you're not doing with a sickle, you're doing with your hand. So you have something to remind you not to eat it. Is there like an empty coffee cup anywhere? So I'll take a regular cup, fine. Zog the Gemara, no, right now without water. This is for demonstration purposes. Holy Kashya, there is a what's the word I'm looking for? Not a siman, a heker. Very good, thank you. There's a heker. So when it comes to grinding out the wheat, you're not allowed to use the machine. You're not allowed to use a water rechaim. You have to use the hand one. Rechaim diyad, like on we make matzahs. Rechaim diyad. Harkada agabi napo. So the harkada would be on top of a napa, meaning instead of you putting the flour into the sifter and going like this, you'd flip the sifter over and put it on this part. It's a big shinoi and it's a big heker. That shinoi is your heker, and memelo you're not going to come to eat it.
Then how are you going to sift it properly?
You could sift backwards. You mean a lot is going to fly off. That's why I said if I had a coffee cup, maybe if Shmulik flips his cup over, you could see there's a little bit of a lip sometimes. No. I had enough this week. So some of these kalim have like a big lip, not a crazy lip. But it's going to be hard for you. It's indentation enough to do the sifting, and that's your heker. Listen, how are you cutting tfuah? You have a field that's an acre. You're going hand by hand picking. It's all crazy, but that's you want to eat before the Omer. That's what you have to do. Yeah.
It's just not because the heker that you shouldn't be eating.
Right.
You shouldn't be eating, but it's a very strong heker.
Right.
You have to do the ksira with your hand. You have to do the tchina by hand. You can't use the water mill. You have to use your hand. I mean, the process is much longer and harder. This nan, as the Gemara, Beis HaShlochin is Sharia Ktsira. Now, Beis HaShlochin, there's not a lot of rain there, and we allow you to do Ktsira with the tool. with the sickle. So what's the hecker now? I don't have a hecker. This nan koitzrin. I could do regular ktsira with a magel. Beis hashlochin shubah makim. Avalei goitzrim. Okay, you're not allowed to pile up the piles, but you're allowed to use a tool. Ma'ikla meima. So there is no hecker now. Says the Gemara Loma Abaya Chodosh Badul Minei Chometz Loi Badul Minei. So the question is, why does Rabbi Yehuda say when it comes to Chometz? No, not you. Why, when it comes to Chometz, Rabbi Yehuda says we're not so worried. We are worried. Sorry, we are worried. No, we're not worried. B'rotzen Chacham Matzu. Rabbi Yehuda, sorry. Yes, what I meant is Chodosh. When it comes to the stores being stocked, we're not worried that he might eat from it. But when it comes to Chometz, says Rabbi Yehuda, we're worried he can't check his house because he might eat from the Chometz. What's the difference? Chodosh Badumine. Chodosh, he never ate it. He's still not eating it. He's waiting for the Omer to happen. So he's not involved with Chodosh. So he's not going to come to eat it. He's not going to come to eat something that he has no shaykhs to. Chometz leibadumine. This guy's been eating chometz until this minute. Now all of a sudden we say chometz is asur. He's not used to not eating it. So when he sees it, he'll come in and eat.
Yeah, but you can't say that by the wheat. Nobody who snacks on wheat.
Oh,
It's not edible.
Exactly. So the Gemara uses that. We're going to see in a second. But the Gemara does say kali. The Mishnah says kali. It's toasted. And what do you give your kids on Pesach night when they behave nicely? You give them toasted wheat. Kloyos. What's kloyos? There's a concept. Not you, but in the Gemara, in the time of the Gemara. Like garinim. That's exactly what it is. Kids work hard for that toasted wheat. But the Gemara does say what you're saying soon. Omar Rava, the Rebbe Yehuda, Kasya, the Rabbanan, like Kasya. You're ignoring Rabbanan. You have a contradiction between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yehuda. In our Mishnah, he says that when it comes to the Omer, we're not worried that somebody will eat food before the Omer, but when it comes to Pesach, we are worried. And you have the exact same question on Rabbanan, but in reverse. Over here in our Mishnah, Rabbanan say, we are worried, Shaloi b'rotzen chachamim. And when it comes to Pesach, they say you could check throughout Pesach, we're not worried, he'll come eat. Elom Arava, the Rabbi Yehuda, the Rabbi Loi Kasyo, Kedishanina. So Rabbi Yehuda is not a problem, like we just answered, that he's not used to it. By chometz he's used to eating, so Melo we have to continue the Isser. And by Chodosh he's not used to eating it. The Rabbanan Loi Kasyo. How come by chometz they weren't goizer? Says the Gemara, who atzmi mechazer all of the sarfoi. He's on a mission to seek and destroy, find it and burn it. Mechal ochel minei. We're worried he's going to come and eat it. It's his enemy. He's working hard to find it, to burn it. We're not worried he's going to eat it. Rav Ashi Omar, the Rabbi Yehuda, the Rabbi Loi Kasha. Kemach kol itnan. That's what you were saying. We're talking about flour. We're talking about toasted wheat. We're not worried a guy's going to eat that. It's not such a taiva to eat. In Pesach, if you notice, the lashon always in Pesachim, you just confused me. Gluska Yafa. There you go. Gluska Yafa. It's geschmacky cake with frosting. It's a okay. So now we're worried, but it's a little flour. We're worried. We're not going to make a whole gzera that somebody's going to stick his finger into the flour and eat. Says the Gemara, V'hoder Avashi berusahi. It's a side pshat, and if you go it's a daled, it's bedusahi. It's a joke. What Rav Ashi is saying is a joke. A lot of times the Gemara says. Every time the Gemara says berusa, it's usually there's a haga on the side bedusa. Anyways, Teinach, that's great. Mikol be'elach. His pshat is great when it's already fine flour, or at least toasted. At koli ma'ikla meimar. But there's a bunch of steps beforehand, and if we allow the guy to do ktsira, he might eat the wheat. So you're going to tell me that. No, we're not worried about him eating it while he's doing ktsira because he could only do it by hand. And there's a hecker. But Akopana, we have the question in the Beis HaShlachim where we said you're allowed to use the kli, and therefore, what is the heter then? So we can't use Rav Ashi's teretz as a proper teretz.
It seems wheat is edible as is.
Yeah. Gary name and
And we're only talking about before the time of reaping. So you're allowed to, correct?
what?
In other words, if you're doing this before the Zman of Chodesh,
Yeah,
you're doing it, then you can't do that, do it by hand.
exactly. Anytime before you bring the Omer, so the reaping has to be done by hand.
And
Unless-
after you bring the Emmer, you can just
Yeah.
plow your fields and
You can do whatever you want. There's no Isser to eat it. Before you bring the Omer, there's an Isser D'Oraisa to eat the new crop. You have to bring the Omer.
And people would take the early crop and make it themselves and just not eat it until
Well, that's what we're saying. They would stock their stores.
Have it on the shelf.
They would have it in the shelf waiting, and then as soon as the Omer came, bam, you could eat it.
Yeah, but you're saying
And that's the
that
Shiloh.
sounds
That's
like
exactly
fair.
what we're talking about. Do we have to be Choishish or not? Chacham said, no, you shouldn't do that.
That was not done normally.
The whole preparation was done abnormally. The reaping was by hand. The grinding of the flour was by a hand machine. And what else? What was the last thing? The sifting was upside down. They used the sifter upside down. Yeah. I don't know about the reaping. The reaping is also young. I can't imagine plucking out wheat from the ground by hand. It's well, yeah, it's crazy. It's very hard work, one by one.
Those people used to root trees.
And I'm sure if they had the option to do it by machine, they would do it by machine. Says the Mishnah. No, Magal is also. That's Mamish also. That's a Kli and that's also. It's also until you bring the Omer. Once you bring the Omer,
You don't grind it in your hand also, you grind it in the machine. It's a hand.
no, you have to do a change.
Yeah, but
The machine is the normal, so you do by hand.
It's not a machine. You use
No, no, no. Shmulik, the point is not a machine or not a machine. The point is not a machine. The point is doing it different than you do. A shinui. So if you use a sifter, you have to flip the sifter upside down. You can use it. It's a machine. It's a device. If you use a knife, you can't use a knife. You'd have to use the knife upside down. You'd have to use the handle. You have to do a shinui. So the shinui with a sickle is not to use it at all. And if you use a machine, a windmill, a water mill, whatever they used in those days, you have to now go to the next step, the step lower.
They should use a cutter or something.
Maybe. I don't think so. Anything that.
Stuff that's growing relatively wild on the mountains, not big quantities, because the real farmers were using irrigated fields, so they weren't allowed to use the machinery. We talk
Min
about,
Beis HaShlachim.
yeah, we talk about stuff that's
Yeah,
growing.
okay. Obviously, we're not talking about big quantities here. Can't be. Says the Mishnah, Mishakara va'omer huter chodesh miyad. But once we bring the omer, then the whole new crop is mutter. You're allowed to eat it right away. Harachoikim, people that are far away, and they don't have cell phones, they don't have WhatsApp, and they don't know if the Beis Hamikdash brought the omer. What do? Mutarim michatzos hayom elahalam. They could assume that it was brought in its proper time, and memela from chatzos on, it's allowed even without hearing anything about it. Mishachar Beis Hamikdash. Once the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, and we're going to see in the Gemara, there's a special new halachas, the eraises that apply to Churban Abayis. Hiskin Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai sheyeh Yom Hanef kulei aser. Yom Hanef is the day that we do Tnufa to the Omer, meaning that whole day is completely aser. Now, if you look at the wording of the Mishnah, it says Hiskin. It's a takana. It would seem like it's a takana de Rabbanon, and in the Gemara is brought down a shita that even these words Hiskin is in the Dairaisa is misakin. Omar Rabbi Yehuda v'haloi min ha'Torah aser. Rabbi Yehuda understood him to say kipshutai that it's a derabbanon. He made it a kana that the whole day, the whole 16th, you're not allowed to eat chadash. As Rabbi Yehuda v'haloi min ha'Torah aser, it says in the Torah you're not allowed to eat chadash shenemar ad etzem hayom hazeh, that you're not allowed to eat the chadash until this, in middle of this day, the whole day. Etzem is not really middle, the day. And it's referring to, Rashi says, this pasuk is referring to after the Churban Abayis. And Rabbi Yehuda holds that ad v'ad bichlal. In other words, since the Torah says ad, we could think that it means up until, but he says no, bichlal. When I mention up until this day, it means even that day is also asr. Past that day, it becomes mutter. What right do people have to eat if they're in Chutz La'aretz, let's say, and they go by the Israeli time? They say, okay, Yerushalayim's time. They go, now it's Chatzois Hayom. What right do they have to eat? They don't know for sure that the Omer was brought. Everybody knows that they're going to do it in the Beis HaMikdash in the proper time, and Memela from Chatzois on, you're okay.
Is Chodesh applicable in Chutz La'aretz?
Ooh, big sugya today. Rav Shmuel the Amri Tarvayu. And the answer is, it's 100% applicable. The question is if it's the Raisa or the Rabbanon. Most Rishonim holds the Raisa, and we're going to see it more in depth.
The trouble is the Americans. The trouble is the Americans.
Big problem in America. Yeah. Rav Shmuel the Amri Tarvayu. Bizman shebeis hamikdash kayim. I always like when the Gemara says Rav and Shmuel the Amri Tarvayu, because Rav and Shmuel always are mechulik. So when they agree on something, you have to pay attention. Rav and Shmuel the Amri Tarvayu. What? Many. It's always geschmack. Rav and Shmuel the Amri Tarvayu bizman shebeis hamikdash kayim oimer matir. When the Beis Hamikdash is there, what allows you to eat the new crop? The oimer. Bringing the minchas oimer on the mizbeach, that gives it a heter. Bizman shein Beis Hamikdash kayom. But after the Churban Abayis, heyer mizrach matir. What is the typical lashon? How do you figure heyer mizrach? What does it usually mean? What does it mean? Nates. So usually I think it means alois. And over here Rashi says nates. It's interesting. Akopanim, he reads it literally, and you have to see the breaking of the sun. Once the sun comes out, we obviously, after Churban Abayis, there's no Omer, there's no Mizbeach, there's nothing to bring. So what do? But you still have the Isser of Chodosh, and Memela, you have to wait until daybreak. My taima, Trei Kroi Ksivi. We have a contradiction in the Psukim, Ksiv, Ad Aviyachem. You can't eat anything until you bring the Omer. Uksiv, Ad Etzem Hayom Hazeh. Okay, Tzad, how do we figure? Now Rashi over here says, Ad Etzem Hayom Hazeh means, Ad Etzem means until the sun comes out. That's how he learns Ad Etzem. Not like we're going to learn Itzumay Shel Yom the whole day. Over here it means Etzem when it peaks out. Okay, Tzad, Kam Bizman Shebeis HaMikdash Kayom, Kam Bizman Shein Beis HaMikdash Kayom. If we have a contradiction, it's such an obvious contradiction that you have to wait until the Omer comes, until you bring the Omer. Yet on the other hand, the pasuk says you wait until daybreak. So we have to say that when the Beis Hamikdash is not here and we don't have an Omer, it's daybreak. But when the Beis Hamikdash is here, it's Ad Aviyachem. So we'll see how that fits in. Rabbi Yochanan v'Shlokish the Amri Tarvayu, afilu bezman shebeis Hamikdash kayom heyer mizrach. Today you mechamed to the whole Gemara. Afilu bizman shebeis Hamikdash kayom heyer mizrach matir. So this is a tremendous chiddush. Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish again, two that always argue. They say no. Even when the Beis Hamikdash is here, you don't have to wait for the Omer. It says in the Torah you have to wait until the Omer. L'mitzvah. It's a good chumrah. It's a nice thing to do, but you don't have to be makbid on it. What really causes? And I think we had this Gemara in Zvachim. I just realized we had this Zvachim. What causes the heter to eat? The day. The Omer is a side thing. You want to bring the Omer, great. You mekayim another mitzvah. L'mitzvah. It says in our Mishnah we just read. Once the Omer comes, then you're allowed to eat it. Mashma that beforehand you're not allowed to eat it. So why are you telling me you're allowed to eat it from daybreak? The mitzvah. What?
It's not before the ear?
No. The Omer comes afterwards, during the daytime. You can't bring a carbon before. First thing you do is bring the Talmud. Then there's a bunch of time going through. Yeah. The Tadr B'Sheni Tadr Kaidem will bring the Talmud, will bring the Musaf. Then when we have time, we'll bring the Omer. So says the Gemara, what our Mishnah meant that the Omer is mutter, even though it doesn't fit so well into the Lashon, it's l'mitzvah. Ha'omer ha'yamata b'medina. The next Mishnah on Beis says that the Korban Omer was matter everybody, all the citizens to eat chodosh. Ushtei halechem b'mikdash, and the two breads they bring on Shavuos 49 days later, a matter the new crop in the Beis Hamikdash. Again, it says mefurish in the Mishnah that the oimer is matter. It says even better now. It's a stronger lashon. Lemitzvah. Fine. Now we're going to go to that point that we said before. Meshachar Beis Hamikdash hiskir Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai sheyeh yom hanef kuli yosef. Once the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, so Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai instituted that the entire day of the 16th is Asr and Chodesh. My time. Meheru Yibana Beis Hamikdash. Be'ezer Hashem will have a rebuilt Beis Hamikdash. V'yoimru, and they'll make a mistake. They'll say, Ishtokad last year, Milo Yochanu Be'er Mizrach. The halacha is that when the Beis Hamikdash doesn't exist, you're allowed to eat from the Netzach Hamanan. Didn't we eat last year? Hashanami Neichol. V'lo yadi, the Ishtokad lo yahava oimer. And they don't realize that the reason why we ate right away in the morning is because we didn't have the ability to bring the oimer.
Where else do they say that in the Musaf?
No.
When they brought the Kifsei Tzaris without the lechem.
Ishtokad?
They come next year.
Oh,
last
very
year,
good.
That's what last year they didn't have.
Shkoyach. He's giving it back. I like it.
If this omer is the mitzvah,
Yeah.
why isn't this like a zera and a zera? It's only on the derabbanan. It's a zera on the derabbanan.
Oh. That's exactly what the Gemara is going to say. The Olam is mamish on top of the game today.
It's not a Durban. Mitzvah's
I think that's what he's saying. Let's go a few more lines.
Still mitzvah.
The Hashta did what? So let's see. But his point is a good point. Now that we have a Beis Hamikdash, we're in the third Beis Hamikdash today, and we have to bring a omer. The omer is matter, and we cannot eat chadash early in the morning. So therefore, Rabbi Yochanan was geyser that on the 16th, even since there's no Beis Hamikdash, on the 16th you never eat. So nobody remembers that you were able to eat it in the morning. And if you're telling me that the whole point of the omer is only a mitzvah, but really you're allowed to eat it from daybreak. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai made it a kana that we should do the mitzvah. You're allowed to eat it without the mitzvah. So why would Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai be so worried about it? Maybe they'll come to say that when the Beis Hamikdash will be rebuilt, and even if they say that, they weren't over on anything. They're only not being mekayim the mitzvah, not chila, but they were mekayim.
What's wrong? You like that mitzvah?
Okay, but you don't do a gzeira for a mitzvah. A gzeira is something for an isser, not for a mitzvah.
Is the chashash that everyone will forget or one that I make?
The main guy that brings it, he's going to make the mistake.
No, Rachel.
Oh, you mean everybody? No, the whole tzibur is going to start eating. They're going to eat at the wrong time. People are going to eat. This Mashiach, and he's going to scream, and these other halachas, and he's going to be too busy with his teikus, and he's not going to tell whatever. V'i so kedai l'mitzvah shum mitzvah le'gedut. Omer Rav Nachman ben Yitzchok. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai b'shitas Rabbi Yehuda Amora. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai holds like Rabbi Yehuda. The Omar min haTorah asur. Shenem ad etzem hayom hazeh. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says that even bismanenu, that the whole pasuk of ad etzem hayom hazeh is actually referring to after Churban Habayis. That you can't eat chadash the entire day. Ad itzum shel yom, meaning until the entire day. Because sovar ad vad bechlal. When it says ad, I think it almost makes sense. If ad etzem hayom hazeh would, let's say, mean the beginning of the day, 1 minute into the day, that would make 0 sense. Ad vad bechlal, like not only until 6 o'clock, but until 6:01. But when you say ad vad bechlal includes a large amount of time, that makes more sense.
We saw Etzem Yom Hazeh. We saw by Noah, by Moshe Rabbeinu, and by Paro and Rashi.
Yeah.
It means the middle of the day. Hashem says,
Right.
Let me see who's going to fight with me. I'm going to bring Etzem Yom Hazeh in the middle. Rashi says
Right.
in the middle of the day.
Right, but since ad vad bechlal, by the way, they don't translate it like that. That it means the middle. They mean sumai means more like the entire day, but a full day. But over here, you have also the concept of ad vad bechlal. So Mela doesn't. Rashi says atzmi shel yom. I don't know. Akoponim. but with the concept of ad va'ad bichlal, meaning once I'm even part of the day, so it includes the whole day. Now, you're telling me that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai holds like Rabbi Yehuda in our Mishnah. In our Mishnah, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai argues with Rabbi Yehuda. How could you tell me that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai holds like Rabbi Yehuda, that's the Doraisa, that you can't eat on the 16th day? He's mecholek with him. This is not in our Mishnah. Mishachar beis hamikdash hitkin Rabbi Yehuda ben Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai sheyeh yoim hanef kulei asur. Omer Rabbi Yehuda mecholek an yuvalui min haTorah asur. In other words, Rabbi Yehuda is the one that holds that it's Doraisa, and Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai holds that it's not Doraisa, it's only Rabbanan, and he's misaking it. Says the Gemara now, Rabbi Yehuda the Kol. According to this teretz, according to Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, you have to say that Rabbi Yehuda made a mistake. Who saw Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai midrabanan Kol? He was asking Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai because he thought that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai made a takana midrabanan v'lohi, and it's not true midraisa Kol. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was saying that midraisa you're not allowed to eat. V'hoiskin katani. So what's a takana? It's a deraisa. My hiskin dorash v'hiskin. In other words, since people were so used to eating when
At Nates.
they weren't used to eating at Nades, they're used to eating
After the Oimer.
after the Omer. Now that there's a Churban Abayis, he said,
People like
Darshan Adad Bechla.
right. He said this is what the Torah means, and he instituted it. You can't eat it that whole day. He didn't invent it. He was misakin, meaning he made sure that people kept it. That's what V'hiskin means according to this teretz.
Just to add to it, because till then Beis Hamikdash was there, so it was mutter as soon as they brought the Omer. So they didn't know that the whole day is also. That's why he was Dirish to remind.
What
them.
again? What did you add?
Till then, Beis Hamikdash was Kayam.
Yeah,
They were allowed to eat as soon as the Omer came.
Right.
Which was earlier.
yeah.
So the Darish Behiskin is to remind everybody that when there's no Omer,
It goes all the way to the end of the day. Yeah. So when I was a kid growing up in New York, my father is a Gronik, and he's very makben achadash. And a number of times I remember going into the bakery asking for, do you have anything that's yashon? And one specific case, a guy standing in line turned around and made fun of me. She started laughing at me. He says, it's shtusim. He says, chodesh usim min haTorah, and he started the whole drasha. And in America, it's true. In America, they seem to, Bizmanenu, it changed a lot. Over the years, it became more and more people. In Makbet, sometimes they even have a sign in a store that says Yoshan. But in America, in generally, the bakeries, restaurants, the products, the OU today is not Makbet on the Chadash. So if you buy a product here in Eretz Yisrael, according to what we're about to learn, you have to be very careful. You have to see.
For sure, the stuff that's being reported is older.
You don't know. There's certain products. We used to go around with a book like this big, and every product had a serial number, and you had to see what serial number you could buy and what you can't, and we would stock up on the flour. But we were yichidim. We were the weirdos of the neighborhood. Literally, people would make fun. It was like, what? Who cares about Yashan? Now, they were soymach, they said on a Bach. I didn't see the Bach today, but there's a Mishnah Berurah, and we're going to see soon. Let's see the sugya inside. This is the sugya. It's a tremendous sugya because it's a deraisa. We're talking about deraisas here. It's not a joke, and a lot of people are not familiar. They just chadash yashan. Who cares? It's okay. Mistom, it's good if they sell in this bakery. It's good. So we have to see what's going on.
Isn't the issue in Chutz House that they say it's mitzvah klali ba'aretz? I hope it doesn't apply. It's not that.
We're going to see everything. We're going to see all the shittas of Rishayim Be'ezer Hashem right here on the spot. There's a Mishnah Berurah. It's kedai to see inside. 10 minutes, okay? It's kedai though. Zogdi Gemara Rav Papa Rav Huna Bereder Rav Yeshua Achli Chodosh Beurta. Now, in the pasuk it says B'chol Moshvei Seichem. Chodosh is asur B'chol Moshvei Seichem, wherever you live. So there's machlekes. How do you taich up B'chol Moshvei Seichem? Does B'chol Moshvei Seichem mean everywhere, including New York and Chicago and Toronto and England, or B'chol Moshvei Seichem is only in Eretz Yisrael? Fine. Says the Gemara, there are Papa Ravuna Bereder Yeshua. Achli Chodosh Bu'urto de Shitzar Nagi Shivsar. Because they obviously were in Bavel. They ate Chodosh. It's very interesting. When you say, a lot of times, like when we're doing the Shir, Leil Shishi, especially Americans, they thought Leil Shishi means Friday night. Right? So it could be confusing. When you say Leil Shishi, it's hard sometimes to understand. So over here the Gemara wants to take away all confusion. So what does the Gemara do? The night of the 16th, Nagi Shivsar, before the 17th. Meaning, the night in between the 16th and 17th. So when I say Leil Shishi, I'm talking about Thursday night. It's the night of Thursday before Friday. So okay, that's Thursday night. So they held, Kasarvi Chodesh b'chutz la'aretz d'Rabbanan. So here's the first shita. Chodesh and chutz la'aretz, this is Gemara. Chodesh b'chutz la'aretz d'Rabbanan. These are actually the Mekilim. They hold it's only the Rabbanan. Well, the Svei Geloi Chashinon. What's the suffix over here? We don't know if in Eretz Yisrael the Ma'aber Adar, if Adar is 30 days or whatever. We don't know the amount of days. So maybe today, the 17th is really 16th. So Mela, I got to be careful. But we're talking about a suffix d'Rabbanan likula.
They didn't know, but they also didn't know to do Pesach or not.
That's why in Pesach they do two, and that's why in Chutz La'aretz you do 2 days Pesach, but Pesach is d'Oraisa. Over here, since Chodesh is only the Rabbanan they hold, there's no 2 days, only 1 day. So Mela.
They don't know what it is.
Okay, but
So the whole heta goes away.
no, that's only on that day, the 16th and 17th. But in terms of Chodesh Asur, the Isser of Chodesh, it's the
I
Rabbanan
understand.
or
If you
d'Oraisa.
know what's going on, right? If you know the calendar, you know when it falls out.
Yeah.
So the whole heta goes out the window because
Not if you're using it, not if you're there before the Omer. That has to be before the 16th. You're talking about produce from Sukkot to Pesach. So the Omer didn't hit yet. I don't have the heter of the day of the 16th. That day is matter me for the rest of the year. You're right. But I'm talking about the week before Pesach. Can I eat pizza in Mendelssohn's Pizza? Is the dough made from wheat, from Chodesh, from a new crop? In America, when they plant in the summer, they could get the wheat out there, they could get the flour out there to the stores in weeks. So they plant in the summer. Shavuos didn't come yet.
It's not summer, it's spring.
Spring. It comes in the middle of November, and I don't have the heter of Shavuos. Shavuos wasn't matter me yet. Pesach wasn't matter me. The Omer wasn't matter me yet. So the Gemara. V'Rabbanon debei Rabashi achli b'tzafar de shivsar. Rabbanon ate in the morning of the 17th. Kosarvi chodesh b'chutz la'aretz Rabboisai doiraiso. They hold chodesh is doiraiso in chutz la'aretz, that the isser of eating new crop in America is doiraiso. And therefore what? No. However, V'Rabbanon V'Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai and the Rabbanon Komar v'chitaken lo yemenev l'svegel lo yitaken. So really, yeah, it is 2 days, and that's why they have to wait till the 17th, and that's the second day. But they don't have to wait the entire 17th because Rabbi Yochanan was the one that instituted the entire day, and that was a takana, and a takana we don't do on the suffix day. Fine. Omer Avina, look next to Omer Avina. Omer Li'aim, my mother told me. Because Ravina was a Yasam, and his mother used to tell Malachas that her husband, which was Ravina's father, used to do. Now, if you look next to the Amr Li'aim, there's an Aleph, and that's the Shulchan Aruch, he paskins, this is the Halacha. Avuch lehava ochel chodosh elo be'urta de shivsar nagi tim nasar. This is the hardest shita. He waited the 17th at night, the whole day, like Rabbi Yochanan's takana. The Savalo Rabbi Yehuda, he holds that it's doiraiso that the whole day, v'chayish l'sveika, and there's a suffix. And therefore, I just want to, I know there's not a lot of time, but we'll do the rest of that tomorrow. I have to stick this in. We have to learn this, it's very, very important. The Shulchan Aruch, no, we're going to do it later. Hold on, we're going to do this quickly. What?
When does it start? The Chodesh.
The new crop before Pesach. Anything that grows before Pesach, that didn't have the Pesach of last year, the Pesach is materit. So if it was mushrash in the ground after Pesach, then it has to wait till the next Pesach to have
How much does it have to grow for it to be matas?
mushrash. It has to catch in the ground.
If it's mushrosh and then I did the omer, so then it's
Yeah, then that's matter.
It's not mushrosh, then that's
If it's mushrash after the Omer, then I have to wait a full year.
How do you know
And in nowadays, with trains and planes, but the factories tell you they know what flour they're using. There's a guy in charge of a book. You can buy the book for $10, whatever it is, and he tells you, you want to buy Cheerios, it has to be this. What? And you get it online. In Eretz Yisrael, there's no problem. In Eretz Yisrael, there's no problem. Everything is Yosh in Eretz Yisrael. Because first of all, everybody's makbid on it, but also the way the wheat works is different than in America. The wheat that they use here is always wheat from after Pesach.
Where do they put the new wheat? They store it?
Yeah, stored. It's all
Yeah,
stored.
it's all stored.
All stored.
But that's what I just said. If L'moshel, if you're going to buy a OU product that's a cereal that says OU, check it out.
I was told that the Rabbanot Rashid Israel is makbid on Chodesh, and
Uh-huh.
they don't like to import stuff that's Chodesh and not Yom.
That's a good. Okay. Okay.
With-
They're not so much on the mechir when it comes to chodesh. Okay, let me just read quickly so we can get back into the Gemara. This is, everybody can look this up. Simin Tov Pei Tes. Simin Yud. Sif Yud.
Where again? Where?
Tov Pei Tes.
Where are you reading?
In the Shulchan Aruch.
It's here.
Osur lechol chodosh af bazman hazeh. It's an isur deraisa. Bein lechem, bein koli, bein karbel. Fine. Ad chilas lel yud ches ben Nisan. So he paskins, like I said, like the last shita, like Ravina's father, that you cannot. And it's interesting how the mother knew, and she tells him. He held like Rav Yehuda l'chumra. It gives geshmak. She's a big rebbetzin. But that's the halacha. You can't eat until the 18th of Nisan. Fine. Says the Mishnah Berurah. I'm going to skip all this. We have to worry. Dilma nishu shekaydim loymer. Fine. Because rachroinim the b'medinas poilin ein lahakil. Ki im bechitim v'shipoin deruba is roim b'chodesh cheshvan v'inshach b'em chodosh. So if you know that something that was grown in the spring, then it's a problem. Most of them are planted after Pesach, and memela it's asur. Then he says, "Ein lakabam umikol makom roiv ha'olam ein nizorim klal b'isur chodosh." Nobody cares about it. V'yesh shelimdu aleim schus. So now he goes into the whole thing how we could understand them. And really, the bottom line is that it was very hard in Europe to if you were makban on chodesh, you wouldn't have what to eat. Levishu dava kosher liyozar b'zeh. It's very hard to be zar. And he brings here an interesting thing. He says people said that anyways, if you're makbid on chodesh, which is the raisa, then you have to be careful about the kalim. The kalim become asur. That's what they said. The blias. And memela, since we can't be makbid on blias, we can't be makbid on anything. They threw it out the window. They took the sisa der raisa. They chucked it out. It's very interesting, Mishnah Berurah here. So now he says there are people that say that's only the Rabbanon. Shegozim Mishum Eretz Yisrael, v'lei gozim v'lei komis have smuchim Eretz Yisrael, kigoy Mitzrayim, v'yeshelim d'aleim schus, and maybe we could have another schus. Shesem chodesh and enoig el betfu shel Yisrael, but not the guys. The kitzer, it's all coolest. It's not really very good. Now, mikol makom kol bal nefesh lo yismoich al terim alalu. Person shouldn't be soymech v'yachmer la'atzmi chom ha'shev shloi. Ki lahar b'gdoili ha'rishonim who isa deraisa b'chol davnim, most rishonim, and he brings over here, he says, the Rif, the Rosh, the Rambam, the Smag, the Itur, the Mordechai, b'shem Raviyah, Hagois Maimin, and the Ritva all hold that bisman hazeh in America it's deraisa, gdoili rishonim, and he brings one shita. Who was it? I forgot where it is. Oh, the Bach. The Bach brings it, and that's they're all soymich on this Bach. But the Gdoilei Rishonim, the Bach is an Achron, and he brings the Rishon.
It's a shame you didn't have this with you when the guy made fun of you. You could just looked it out.
No, I did. I wasn't. I can't. I was already Panovich Boger. I knew how to answer him. I told him that's the right. So this that. My father told me. He thought I was Meshuggah. He had no idea. He's a Tinuk Shinishba. He brings one. Fine.
Are we stopping in the mission?
Hold on. No. Oh, listen to this. I just thought this is very interesting. He brings in the Bir Halacha. People are so makbid on the biggest chumras, the koldu b'shar yisurim, mekilim gam b'zeh. When it comes to this is the rise of the mekel. Fine.
What about bleeders?
וגם הגרוע ימחמיר בעשר חודש בכל איסורי התורה.
The reason why they were made
Yeah.
The reason
What?
why they were made in Poland was because of Baal Shem Tov. What is it called? The Bach, and they didn't want to go against the Baal Shem Tov.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Fine.
And the reason why I know in England why they were made cold in the old days
Yeah.
was because generally any flour that you have is a suffix.
Yeah.
Whether it's
He brings that. So if it's a suffix, then it's a different story. If you know for a fact, then it's a problem. He brings different chulas that it's from a goy, it's from a this. You could. Everybody in there. I'm just saying, when you go to America and you eat in a restaurant, try to be mevar. That's that. Ayoyt zelanu. Let's say the Mishnah. Zog the Mishnah. A tremendous halacha. That you should know that the oimer is matter everybody to eat the new crop. However, when it comes to the Beis Hamikdash, you can't bring the new crop to the Beis Hamikdash even after the oimer. You have to wait 49 days until Shtei Alechem. So therefore, Menachos ubikurim uminchas behema kodim loimer. Therefore, you can't bring any mincha made out of wheat, and you can't bring the new bikurim fruit. Uminchas behema kodim loimer. Minchas behema is the same mincha. Vimhevi pasol. Why? Because you did it. It's coming before. It's chadash for the Beis Hamikdash. This is chadash mamish. Now,
Before the Omer.
no, yeah, kodim loimer. You're right. Yes, sorry. This is before the oimer. Kodim l'shtei alechem. But if you brought in the Beis Hamikdash a mincha before Shavuos, before the two lechem, lo yavi imhevi kosher. As the Gemara, as Rabbi Tavrim v'kakashile, ma beino. What's the difference? How come you said before the oimer, if you bring it, it's possible, but if you bring it before the shtei alechem, which that's the halacha, you have to bring it after the shtei alechem, you bring it before, it's still kosher. Omer lefanav Yehuda bar Nechemyo. He takes up the Rebbe here. Loi im amarta kodim loi mishkein loi huta miklal etzel hedyoit. Toimer kodim shtei alechem shodim miklal etzel hedyoit. Since there was a heter for the citizens to eat it, memela. If you bring it for the Beis Hamikdash, it's mamish pasul. But if once there's a heter for everybody to eat, and you bring the Beis Hamikdash, no, it's not the end of the world. Shasag Rabbi Tarfon was quiet. Seems like he was maskim. Soavu panav Rabbi Yehuda ben Nechemya. Over here he takes up the Rebbe. He was excited. He got him. Omalei Rebbe Akiva, Yehuda, Tzavu Ponecha, Sheshavtes Azokin. You're so happy that you were able to answer Rebbe Tarfon. Tmihanim Tarach Yomim. Where do we have this, Levi? I'm wondering if you are going to live, if you're going to be Marach Yomim. Omer Rebbe Bar Yeloi, Oisa Perik, Proisa Pesach. It was 2 weeks before Pesach, because it's 30 days before Pesach. Prois means half. 2 weeks before. Once I got there on Shavuos, Shalti Achrav, I asked, I was wondering if Rebbe Akiva's klala happened. He is gone.
Being a Talmud Chacham is a very dangerous job.
And he was also a very big Talmud Chacham, yet... Alright, what? Okay, if you want, we're late a little bit. Omar Rav Nachman, everybody's welcome to go. And this is drasha. I see a guy waiting to speak right after me. Ben Nechemya, over here he's not called Rebbe Yehuda anymore. Nesachim bikurim sheikrivam kodim loyim ksherim. I don't know if we should learn this. It means new wine, that brand new. It's chadash wine that you brought it on the mizbeach. It's okay even before the oimer. Pshita, it's not wheat, and the oimer doesn't apply to it. Now they say mahasam udehuda miklal etzel hedir. Avlach deluda miklal loy komash velon kolshkin hacha deloy itzer klal. I would think, what? Let's just do it tomorrow. It's late. Have a great day. We're going to catch up. Don't worry, Nachman.
Yesterday I had a vein Nicholas. A vein, the stalkers.